Oh, shit. Here we go again.
And I promise you this, above all else, I'm going to be more obnoxious, more overbearing, and I'm going to make you all learn to love it because you'll have no choice.
Did it pop up?
It did.
It's time!
Welcome to the Probably Wrong Podcast. Tony, Mike, and the birthday boy, Dave DeShula.
Hold on, I got something special for him tonight.
Oh,
All
boy.
right, a lap dance.
It's your birthday, it's your birthday, get busy, it's your birthday.
Little Uncle Luke.
All right.
Wow, all right.
47 today.
Uncle Luke.
47 today.
47.
3 years to 50.
Thanks.
No?
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not that far behind you, so.
No, I know. So,
Can I just say, last week, being on vacation, just being able to sit by the pool, and I got the little notification, and be able to watch the show like everybody else does.
It's enjoyable.
It was enjoyable. I was sitting back. It was probably 80 degrees out. Sitting on the little lanai. Got the water going in the background.
sounds so
I actually went and at the end put my feet in the pool while I watched and commented.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
we
that's
have an
good.
enjoyable show out there. It was good.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I got to move down there for about 3 months out of the year. I just feel like my life would be so. I like it up here, but I don't like it up here from January to like the end of March.
Right.
So if I could be down there for 3 months, I will. Maybe in a few years.
That's my goal. We'll see when the boy gets old enough. The boy and the youngest girl gets a little older, graduates high school. We'll see where everything goes, and at least try to snowbird down there to begin with.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely love it. And I talk to people that are down there. And some people are on the fence, and they're like, "Mike, what do you think?" And I'm like, I've been wanting to move down here since my grandfather did in 1986.
No kidding,
It's
huh?
been my plan for that long.
Yeah,
I can't
and
wait.
You'd be that area, Naples,
Yes.
that area?
Yeah.
I like
I
it too.
love it. I know it's busy, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I love the heat. I
Me
love
too. I love going for walks.
every morning, walk the
smack
dog
me in the
in.
that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, you'll hate the heat. And I'm like, how about let me decide?
Yeah.
But you know the good thing, though, about the heat is June, July,
AC.
August, September, you just come right back
Hey,
here.
you come back up here.
Yeah, come back up here. Yeah.
So,
Avoid hurricane season, or, if you're really worried about that stuff.
be gone.
Yeah.
Man, it was just the amount of food I ate. I nonstop ate last week. It was great. To me, that's what you're supposed to do on vacation.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, it was enjoyable. And watching the show from the other side, like I said, was the first time that I've actually sat and enjoyed the whole show, and it was good. You guys did a good job.
Yeah,
last week.
we had Red Bull vodkas.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
all fired up, and we had a good time.
That's right. I know. Facts be damned last week. Facts
Oh,
be
yeah,
damned.
all we did was throw out facts.
But that's really every week. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Some people don't like the facts. That's the problem.
No, because we just need facts to support our argument. What is it? There's a word for that.
It's above our heads.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know who was good with those words?
My
Ryan Gray.
vocabulary is not great.
That day he was on the show, he was very good with those words.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Oh, but the happy birthdays are coming in, Dave. You know?
Yeah, thank you.
He doesn't like to acknowledge that it's his birthday right
No,
now.
not really.
He's over it.
It's, it was a work day, and people are like, oh, you didn't take the day off? I'm like, no.
As you get older, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I do enjoy my birthday. I enjoy going out to dinner with the family. It's like my pick of the restaurant, even though we go to the same one all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's joyful that it's in the summertime.
Yeah, that
So-
would help.
But don't forget, everybody out there, this upcoming Sunday,
Yes, the card show.
Diamond
yeah.
Dave, New England for the Lobby Car Show. He'll
Are
be
you
there.
nervous for this one, Dave?
Nope, I'm well prepared for this one.
Yeah.
He's now the card show master.
Do you have, meds for your anxiety?
It's called CAT.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yes.
That anxiety and nervousness went right away after the first sale.
yeah.
A couple of beers that helps with the anxiety.
Well, that's good.
man, people like
Popular
you.
guy.
He is. I'm looking down,
I
going,
guess
man.
so, huh?
Yeah.
I remember when our birthdays passed.
Yeah,
it was
nobody
just
gives a
my.
shit.
It was
Yeah.
just my mom.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Yeah. Well, it's good for the algorithm. Just keep commenting. Happy birthday. It's really going to pop us in the notifications. I love it.
Yeah.
So the Elks Lodge next Sunday, and you'll be there. What time is it opening at? 10:30?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
Yep.
10 to 2, right?
10 to 3.
Are you actually excited about this one now that you have like your foot in the door a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because I have a better idea of what people are looking for, and so yeah, setting it up a little bit different.
The only thing that makes me nervous about new places, the parking situation. Once I figure that out, I'm good. I don't mind going into like places by myself. I could care less, but the parking.
100%.
Oh, I hate
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, this place is no issue with parking.
Yeah, so it's golden.
Unless it's really busy, which we went down a couple months ago, and it was fairly busy.
He's sold out for the next 2 shows. I'm not sold out. You can still get in, but the
now
tables,
that's Drama, right?
Yeah.
Drama Hoy?
Yeah, Joshua Hoy.
Nice.
Yep. So I'll be in house. I'm going to come check it out this week. See how it's going. The boys looking forward to some WWE cards.
Nice,
that Dave has nothing to sell.
Yeah, I have
Not
nothing.
even know what you're talking about.
The guy that was set up across from me in the last show had that his whole table is WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was he selling? Pretty good?
He said he did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
Did he have a lot of activity, like a lot of kids at his table?
he ended up moving to a different table, so he was in front of me for the start, and then I don't know, a better spot opened up. So he took that, but he said he did well. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I do know a lot of the kids coming through are looking for the cheap football, baseball, a little bit of basketball, not much, but yeah, for the most part, it was people aren't looking to spend. It's not like you see those card shows with some of these professionals, the big card shows. They're selling like $30,000 cards and stuff. No, this is like $50 and under.
Okay.
See, I figure that's it. I mean, to me, that's a better show for the consumer. Especially for that, like
most of us can't.
packed.
Most of us aren't looking for $2,000 cards.
Like when I walked in there was a lot of great cards. I'm looking forward to grabbing this week when I go back in there. But Tatum's and stuff that just really cool looking cards that I don't want to spend $200 or $300 for. They're already at their max value. I want to go. All right, $50, $40, and grab a couple cards. So
I have a Tatum rookie that I know Josh was interested in. I still have it. So I'll bring it with me again.
Huh?
Yeah, if he wants it, it's still there. But
You trying to negotiate a deal live on air?
nope, just
sounds
letting him know.
The
Letting him know. I
anxiety and
still have it.
nervousness is completely gone.
He's working deals. That's not on the chart over there.
Just letting him know I still have it.
Hey, did you happen to switch subjects here? Even though we just talked a little bit of the WWE, did you happen to catch Raw this week?
No, just the highlights on
And,
IG.
and John Cena's return?
I did see that.
Oh, it was just epic. The crowd with the John Cena sucks.
Yeah.
Just perfectly on cue with the music.
I
It was
think
just
they hit
great.
a home run with turning him into a heel.
Yeah.
Because if not, he's kind of boring at this point. There's
Right.
nothing new to him, right?
And he's absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
Crushing it. I mean, it was perfect. And the thing that I wanted to talk about, because I know everybody here is not big WWE right now, the fans overseas, these crowds are absolutely electric. They make the event.
Right.
You figure what you see with like the soccer games and all the chants, and these guys are nuts. It is so loud.
Yeah, my brother was actually watching at Tamatonga's house with the wife and the family, and I think the WWE was in the UK.
Yeah.
And they were like singing all the anthems.
Oh, yeah.
And my brother messaged me right after. He's like, dude, this was awesome. And how everybody was going into like every song, they knew every word. And
So every athlete that came out,
yeah.
they had to they couldn't talk right away because they were, like you said, singing everything
Yeah, yeah.
and the chants.
Yeah, yeah.
And it gave you a little goosebumps,
That's awesome.
you know?
But you think about like soccer crowds.
Right.
They kind of like that, right?
That's what it was exactly like that. It was awesome.
pretty good,
Complete
pretty good.
home run over there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even
Now, where
care.
was it?
This week it was in Brussels.
Brussels. Where the hell's that?
Across the pond.
Oh, in the UK. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's across the pond.
That's where the sprouts come from.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, they went to where the sprouts grow.
Yeah.
All right.
But and last week they were also somewhere foreign.
Okay. So, but you can tell with the crowd, a lot more passion.
Immediately. Yeah. And it's just like when so obviously when he came out and the John Cena sucks chant was awesome. He couldn't even get words in half the time. They were so loud. And then Cody Rhodes came out and it was, you could tell the crowd, you could tell it got both John Cena and him because they were saying every single word, everybody in that crowd, you know? And it was great. It was awesome. So they had a complete home run.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I'd like to say our Patriots hit a home run in free agency, but it looked great last week.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it looked great. It looked good, guys. But as it continues, it's starting to unfold, and we're just left with earning and wanting more.
They're not swinging for the fences with anyone. They're just trying to better the roster, which is not hard to do. But I mean, they cut David Andrews, which is kind of like a heart-wrenching thing for a lot of fans because it's David Andrews, but he's 32. He only played 4 games last year. The kid they brought in to replace him, Bradbury,
he's decent.
Younger.
Good run blocker, needs work on the pass blocking, but probably a better option at this point. Andrews maybe is someone you bring back, I think, on a cheaper deal, and just he might not even start.
But not even with the Andrews. I mean, you look at it, and it seems to be all they care about right now is defense, right? Mm-hmm. And defense, to me, was the little bit of talent that they had was all on the defensive side.
A little bit more talent. They did go after Godwin,
right?
And they couldn't sign him.
But again, I mean, we wanted Godwin, but I think if you really sit back and look, you knew all the reports Godwin wasn't leaving Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but they did offer him money. I just think
it's one of those situations, Tony, where they knew he wasn't coming.
Maybe,
and it was just like, oh look, we were going to give him $20 million.
I hope not. They should have went. I don't feel like a first tier wide receiver is going to come here. They should have went and grabbed.
But they don't, Tony. They don't want a first-tier wide receiver because they're afraid that they'll demand the ball too much, and it might make Drake May and the rest of the wide receivers a little upset. Yeah.
But here's the thing. We talked about this ad nauseum before. Guys they're not coming here. You're going to have to draft that stud, and you have to hit on it.
Cooper Kupp was willing to come here, but we didn't want to pay. We didn't want to pay the $15 million a year for 3 years.
Yeah.
$45 million is pennies for that guy.
It is.
And you want to say, injury,
Dave,
this
you
and
can
that.
say you don't like that.
I do,
but you can say that you don't.
Seattle overpaid for him, but on the in the long run, he's probably not going to see 3 years in Seattle because NFL contracts are not what they're written out to be.
Yep.
So, yeah. Could they have given him 3 years at 45 and then, see what he can do in a year? And if he doesn't do anything, cut him? Yeah, you can. Why they didn't do it, I don't know. They must have. They must be happy with what they have in their room right now.
Nobody's happy with that.
No, none
of us are. But they're happy with going for defensive players, trying to solidify that defense because. Is we talked about how most of their talent was on defense. They still were not that good.
Yeah, they don't have much talent.
But don't get me wrong. I'm happy that they picked up these defensive players, right? Because they are. You look down the list,
like NFL caliber starting.
NFL caliber.
Yeah.
But last year we couldn't score.
Yeah,
we could still somewhat stop players. I get it. You want to add some of these guys? Completely understand it. But Mack Hollins cannot be your answer.
No, I don't think he was.
Mack Hollins is not a good wide receiver. I wouldn't even call him barely quality.
Yeah, well,
and I know you want to hang your hat on. He had 57 or 50-something catches for the Raiders.
Yeah.
He was the only. They had no one else to throw the ball to that year.
Sounds like what we have this year.
And he still missed almost 50% of the throws that were to him.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a reason McDaniels brought him in, though. There's a reason that he brought him in.
Sometimes McDaniels. I think that he thinks that he's smarter than what he is sometimes. Like, I can like a little bit of that Bill Belichick ego where I can win with anybody. I could turn this Mack Hollins no shoes wearing freak into a quality wide receiver. So it's amazing. 7 other teams couldn't.
Right. But what do you, I mean, is he a 35 catch guy this year? 30 catch guy?
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Right, and that means you cut Baker. Right?
Yeah. Unless Baker shows you something.
But he didn't really show anything, and he's undersized and kind of small.
Problem. You have, like you say, Tony, you have a lot of these wide receivers that are on their social media. They're all over. Their head's not really in the game.
Yeah.
Like, they're very impressionable. And then you bring in this Teen Wolf looking mother. I'm starting not to swear, but you bring in this guy that's he's like a Kyrie Irving flat earther kind of guy. The guy walks around going, I'm not wearing shoes. Look at how good I am because you're not supposed to wear shoes. No. Actually, you're doing harm because it's you're supposed to be on, for the whole no shoes thing, on grass and sand, not man-made surfaces. Yeah. So you're already contradicting yourself, you idiot.
Well, if he can catch 40 balls, I don't think people are going to care about the shoes and the outfit.
I don't know. I think his antics.
Then in the way this offense is run, especially with Josh McDaniels, they're spreading the ball around. So they're not looking for a wide receiver one. They don't want.
But you got to get somebody.
But
they don't want to overpay to bring in a T. Higgins.
Right. Okay.
Last year they were willing to overpay for Ayuk, and I am not an Ayuk fan. I don't think Ayuk is any good without the rest of the stars in that on the field for the Niners.
Speaking of Ayuk, Josh is talking here that reports are now saying a draft day trade with San Francisco for Ayuk in their 11th and 42 and our 4th.
Yeah, I don't want Ayuk.
Okay.
I didn't want him last year.
You take Ayuk, 11 and a 42 for our 4th?
Yeah.
I would do that.
I mean,
you're saying Ayuk's not a number 1 and he's going to probably miss half the season with the ACL, but at the very least he's a number 2, kind of. Better than what we have.
And that's what McDaniels wants, is a roster full of number 2s. That sounded bad.
But if you... I mean,
it really is, though. So it's right.
If you don't
Someone else mentioned your dad jokes. That was good. If you
don't like the number 4 pick and who you can draft there, if you can pick up a starting wide receiver plus an 11 and a 42...
But I don't see that happening. I think maybe it was Jay Fields or somebody else mentioned this earlier. And what I see right now by them not going after a quality wide receiver is if Hunter is there, that's the guy that they want. I'm not a huge fan, but it's there.
We don't even know if he's a quality wide receiver.
And I understand. I'm just saying. Look at we watch sports. We've known the Patriots. Look at in front of your eyes what's happening right now. They're not targeting a left tackle or a quality wide receiver.
I'd rather have Campbell, I think.
But what I'm saying is they're going to wait with that number 4 pick. If Hunter's there, they're going to get Hunter. If Hunter's gone, they're going to draft Campbell.
Yeah,
and you can talk about all this other Mason Graham, all these other people you want, but look at how this team is unfolding.
Oh, yeah, I said it was set up. I was actually talking to Emlak yesterday. It looks like they're setting up for Campbell, which I would be okay with, I guess. And people are like, well, he shouldn't be the 4th pick, but if it's a weak draft and he's the best person at 4, you got to pick someone at 4.
100%, but these guys, like Dave already said it a minute ago, they don't want to pay for these number 1s. So if Hunter is there, they have a cost control and they fill.
But is he a number 1?
No, but to them, he's a cost control wide receiver, a lot of hype, and they could pay him 1 salary for 2 positions. It is right up to Patriots. Guys, it's there. If he's there, they're going to draft him.
Or he plays corner and he jumps in on offense once in a while for a...
But they just signed a corner for $20 million a year.
Right, so
he's not going to play corner.
So he's going to play wide receiver and still help out in like a nickel or a 3-4. And Marcelo here, keep McMillan, love him. I just don't think they're going to take him with the number 4 pick. It's going to be Hunter or Campbell, guys.
Give me Campbell. I'll take Campbell. Or if I can trade back, then
go ahead.
No, I'm just. I'll take whoever's there at this point.
I'll be there at 4. So you want me playing?
If Hunter is
there, we go, guys.
Yeah.
If Hunter's there, I'll take him. But I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows if he'll be there? Campbell sounds like the safer pick because linemen are always a safer pick at the top of the draft.
And your number 1 asset, he would help protect. And that'll give you a right tackle, which you picked up in free agency, and a left tackle.
Yep.
So you're in a better situation than last year.
Yep.
Still need wide receivers.
Yeah, and I mean, the way they've been going, they're going the conservative route. They're going defense. They're going to end up having to do something with the offensive line. They're going to try to run the ball more and spread the ball around. So they don't need a star receiver. They just need receivers that are going to run decent routes and catch the ball.
We don't have any of those.
Douglas and
Douglas.
Booty, I mean...
Booty's slow.
Booty showed signs
there's
last
no
year.
separation with any of these guys.
But then you get Hunter Henry and
also slow.
Really sounds like you're settling now and just coming to grips with what you know.
No, I just know. I know what they're going to do. They're going to play defense. They're going to
shorten the game.
Yeah,
we tried to do that last year.
Didn't work
because we couldn't score more than 21 points.
Couldn't score more than like 14.
Right.
And we don't have one offensive weapon that creates any kind of separation.
Nothing.
Every
across the
throw
board.
Drake May makes is a contested throw because nobody's open.
Tony, we don't have one offensive weapon.
No, besides the quarterback. And that's where I wanted Cooper Kupp because it would be like a safety valve for Drake May.
Right. And it would actually help open up these other wide receivers.
Yes, a little bit, yes.
And actually help open up the box for Stevenson and Gibson.
And then a young wide receiver group, it would give them an adult in the room as well, which I feel is needed because they acted like a bunch of clowns last year.
Jay Field chimes in. He agreed nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. When people show you who they are, they believe them.
Oh, somebody said that. Who was that lady?
Kraft in charge. Don't expect significant change, right?
Yep. Kraft is looking uglier and uglier by the day.
Yeah. And Keith chimes in. Hunter is not a Vrabel type of guy. He hasn't excelled on offense in any big game in his career. Josh chimes in about Hunter. He could emulate Dion, except more wide receiver, play him in a nickel or other certain defensive plays.
Dion's also one of the best players of all time.
Yeah, I think Hunter has a lot of upside to him, and people want to knock him for not having any, doing anything in any big games. He played in Colorado. There were no big games to play.
Yeah, they had a few big
Not
games.
really.
I mean,
Dion's been trying to build that program for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they made it to a bowl this year, but they haven't done what Dion said he was going to do. He thought they were going to be, contending for a national championship his first year, but that's just Dion being Dion.
Yeah.
But I mean, this kid,
how big is he? 6'1", 185? Did I see that correctly?
I think so, yeah.
That's not really a real wide receiver. That's more like a slot.
And that's why they say he's better at corner.
Yeah, but
he's a ball hawk. He's unbelievable at tracking the ball down. He's got great hands.
But the knock
catches everything.
The knock on that is he gambles.
Yeah.
He reminds me of, we'll say, Asante Samuel. Excellent cornerback, but it's because he timed and gambled. I don't want my rookie.
if you get the timing down and you can make plays.
You also have Gonzalez and a guy that you just signed for $20 million. So there really is no.
But that's why it's perfect. You put him and I'm only saying perfect because I know this is what they're going to do. So I'm just trying to get with the program. And you have him as your wide receiver. You have him as your slot. You can help him and mix him up in different defensive packages. It works perfect. Bob Roxburgh chimes in. What are your thoughts on trade back? Get assets, draft Simmons for left tackle, and then trade back. Yeah,
I'm in. I don't even know who Simmons is, but I'm in.
I would trade back. Yes,
if you don't like the guys at 4,
right? And this draft is not super. The talent at the top of this draft is not like oh my god, I have to have this guy.
The only guy potentially is Abdul Qadir. That is the.
Again, the foot bothers me because he's not getting surgery. You're going to draft him. What if it's more than likely he's going to miss the whole season because something's going to happen. It's football. Something's going to happen in this off season, and then he gets the surgery. Takes a little while to heal right. He is going to be a great pick, but it's very risky top of the draft. He's someone that I think
take him number 1. Take him number 1. He's going to play 14 games this year. Mark my word. Write it down. 14 games. Abdul Qadir.
And then that foot's injured, and he's never the same.
At this point, I mean, trade the pick and see if you can get some assets for next year's draft, and hope that the class coming out is.
You got to win 8 games this year, and that's how you get better free agent wide receivers. The reason why nobody wants to play here is because we suck.
Yeah.
We need to win 7, 8, 9 games, and then we have a chance to get wide receivers. Because those guys are divas. First of all, many of them don't want to play in the cold, and if they do go to the cold, they're not going to play on a shit team. They want to get paid, and they want to win.
Well, I mean, DK Metcalf.
But Pittsburgh wins 7, 8, 9 games at the very least, and they're in the playoffs every year.
I know. And they're the same Pittsburgh Steelers, like, every year. They make the playoffs and get bumped out in the first round.
Right, but you got to be
They're the Bruins
there.
of the NFL.
But Metcalf is, I don't want to play in the cold, and then...
But if you win
Pittsburgh's
games...
like, well, we'll give you $140 million, and he's like, yeah,
Yes,
all right.
but he wouldn't have played in New England this year for $150 million. But he played in Pittsburgh because they have a winning...
He would have played anywhere for $150 million.
I don't think he would have. I don't think he
Myles
would've.
Garrett, I want to play for a winner. We'll give you $150 million.
But the thing about-
I'll stay in Cleveland.
But the thing-
Who the hell wants to stay in Cleveland?
Yeah, but I think wide receivers have more power than
The
DNs.
thing about Myles Garrett is this is why the owner didn't take an interview, because he knows Myles Garrett wasn't going to leave. He knows Myles Garrett was only about the money. And seriously,
just
this is why
hilarious,
he didn't
though.
take it, because he knows he's got that track record.
90% of these guys, they don't care about winning. They're looking for the big payday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think if the Patriots offered that to Metcalf, I don't think he would have played. I don't think he would have taken it.
I don't know. It's tough to
And the
turn
fact that
down
we don't
that
even
kind of
call
money.
on that, it's like, geez.
You're right. That's the thing. But
I can't say that he wouldn't do it, because I don't think there's any player in that league that's going to turn down $150 million to go to New England or...
I have to agree with Dave on this. When these guys are offered that top contract, they're signing anywhere.
Right, but I think he would have got that from a few different teams. So I think he had a little bit of
No
leverage.
one's arguing, but I'm just saying
It's quite possible, yeah. But I just think if the Patriots had made the push and said, we'll give you, a third-round pick or whatever the hell they got for him, and Metcalf's going, shit, I'm going to New England, and then, cheapo Kraft goes, I'm going to give you $150 million, and he goes, I'm going to New England.
Maybe. I just feel like you got to win. We have to win 7, 8, or 9 games for a wide receiver to think they can put the team over the top into the playoffs the year after.
Bob Roxburgh chimes in, 7-8 wins is a strong possibility considering the strength of schedule, 100%.
And a better coaching staff.
Right. And Josh chimes in again, DK is not a game-changing wide receiver anymore. I still think that he has the possibility with the right offense around him.
does.
We're not going to see it in Pittsburgh, so your comment is valid because they don't have a quarterback. But I think if DK Metcalf did come here and Drake May pans out the way everybody wanted to, you might have seen a game changer.
And then he makes every other wide receiver better because there's extra coverage on DK. I think it would help out tremendously.
Okay.
I don't think the Patriots want a number one wide receiver.
They already came out and said it. That's why I brought that comment earlier, because they don't want a diva wide receiver to mess with Drake May's head.
Maybe a diva. But they'll take a number one wide receiver. I mean, but they're all kind of divas. The number twos are all divas.
I mean,
the only ones that aren't, even the ones we have, they all suck. They're all divas.
Well, the funny thing about that is, why would you want a wide receiver who doesn't want the ball?
Yeah, well, I think
Right?
they're thinking of the Stephon Diggs, one that could kind of hurt a quarterback.
Why? Because, and that's basically telling your wide receivers who last year popped Douglas, who was the other guy that complained, they're like, oh, you guys are nothing. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
You guys aren't going to complain. So.
But they did complain. That's what I'm saying. We don't value you. Like,
But
we know you're scrubs.
Why do you complain? Because when the ball gets thrown to you, you drop it anyways.
Yeah.
Contested balls, they drop. The easy ones that hit them in the hands, they drop. So, I don't know. I just know this team, they're going to try to win close games, low scoring, and hope that Drake May doesn't throw interceptions late in games, and hope that these receivers they have catch the ball when they should. When you hit a guy in the hands, I don't care if you contest it or not, it hits your hands, you should be catching that ball. Yeah. So.
All right, so a few things here before we keep it moving. Bob Roxford chimes in about Keenan Allen. Completely forgot he was still available. He thinks he's probably going to end up going to Denver, but he would be a perfect fit here. Keenan Allen would be a perfect fit here.
I think we need 2.
Yeah.
And I'll take him as 1.
Well, they already got Mack Hollins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did you guys see the Belichick and Jordan picture?
I saw the pictures.
Oh my god! Yeah,
kind of weird.
I thought it was a Photoshop thing, but apparently it wasn't.
Yeah, kind of weird.
This guy. Hey,
he's liking life, and she's enjoying it. Whatever.
It's like he's playing with his kids on the beach.
Yeah,
you know,
it's kind of weird.
Except he's sleeping with this one.
I know.
But I did see a picture of her boyfriend before Belichick.
He was an old man too.
He was just as old and ugly as Belichick. Yeah. So maybe she's got a thing for old, disgusting men.
Yeah. I mean, he's only 50 years older than her.
I forget what it was, but made the comment. It looked like she was trying to grab a walrus on the beach.
Yeah.
Once I look back at it, I go, that was kind of pretty spot on.
Whatever.
But the thing about it, right, and what I wanted to discuss it a little bit here is, what is going on with this man? With now that if you look at all the emails that he wants her CC'd on everything, she is like a huge part.
Maybe she's like his assistant.
I mean,
it's kind of weird.
This isn't going to end well.
Oh no, it never does. It never does. I can tell you from personal experience, it never ends well. So it don't matter. No matter what you do, it will never end well. But maybe all the emails go to her, and she just kind of, hey, this is about this. Maybe she's like an assistant. I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it's just
weird. Weird because she's like a kid.
He had to give her a job. So she's
probably getting paid, right?
Yeah,
100%. She's on the North Carolina staff.
Of course.
Yeah. So maybe that's like...
How long before she is the cheerleading coach?
I don't think she would want that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen, if this show goes big time and we start making money on it, Leah's going to be an employee for the show.
100%.
I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah. Tina, but she's got a little bit of an attitude, so we'll keep Tina off the show.
We'd have a strict schedule.
Yeah.
She would have already interrupted and said, keep it moving.
Let's go, Mike. Yeah. Stay on track.
You guys started early. What are you doing?
But I didn't realize that Bob just brings up that she's doing a documentary that he is funding. So, I mean, I could see that. I mean, you know what? Anything that she's 23 years old. She's good looking. The guy looks like a walrus. Anything that she wants, she's getting, as long as she's providing her services to him.
Yeah, it's weird. This is where we need Tina to cut this off and be like, next topic, please. Yeah, let's just awkward.
Moving on.
So, all right, next topic. Celtics are 8-1 in March.
All right.
I got to take a break. I'll be back.
He had 2 Red Bulls.
Oh.
Yeah. Just Red Bulls,
this way,
I think.
Right? Going out. Yeah, all right.
So the thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you might have picked this up, they're actually resting players.
Yeah, I like it.
Tatum's now been 3 games this month. Brown and everybody, and they're trying to slowly build Porzingus back up.
Yeah,
and we're winning games.
And I was thinking about this the other day. Porzingus in the finals last year came back, game 1. He had missed 30-something games.
Yeah,
comes in right away. That was a tie ball game. He comes in, he's dunking the ball, he's pointing fingers, he's winking. This guy takes time off and feels like he doesn't miss a beat when he comes back.
He's looked great the past couple nights.
Dominant. Yeah. Like, is this a top 25 player in the league?
If he could stay healthy, 100%.
Right, and when he does come back, like, the impact he has on the court, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, and it's just...
game-changing.
The smile.
The smile, yeah, and right? How easy this... He doesn't play for a month, comes in, he's relaxed, he's smiling, he's bombing threes. Yeah. It's amazing.
But it still worries me every time he blocks a shot.
You think he's going to break his leg when he wins?
The guy plays defense.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Plays hard.
And that's awesome. We need a guy like that. But it's just, he's a little fragile.
Very fragile. Yeah.
So it worries me. But I do like this year. We're going into the playoffs. We're not getting the number 1 seed. Tatum's taking some games off.
You know what that is? That's a team that won the championship last year.
Brown's taking games off.
Yeah, I like it.
They're rotating. I mean, Missoula's doing a great job at rotating, of still keeping guys in and giving White. Yep. What's his name last night? Who's the kid?
First-round pick. Yeah. I don't know how to say his last name. 20 points.
But he looked great.
Yeah. Good athlete.
Great.
Good athlete.
And, it's just, I'm just very happy with that.
That's a guy off the bench in about 2 years that could be
100%.
Right? Because... He can dribble, penetrate, he can dish, he's big.
I think that if he had played all year, what we'd see out of him is what you're seeing out of Dalton Kincaid in LA. I'm destroying his name. The white kid out there, the one of the having an excellent rookie season.
Yeah.
And I don't think people thought that he'd have the impact that he did.
Right.
And he's just very cool, calm, collective out there.
Yeah.
And gelling well with that team.
Yeah.
So I think if this guy would have played all year, we would have seen
maybe
something
we'll see
like
it
that.
next year.
Yeah.
You know?
So Keith chimes in. You would smile too if you got paid millions to work 20% of them, 25% of the time.
You're right, Keith. I would. I smile and I don't get paid anything.
How about Embiid getting paid 100% for doing nothing?
Him
Have to
and
bring him
Paul,
up. Yeah.
and Paul George out, done for the year.
Dave's got Embiid derangement syndrome. What's that? Yeah. He's got
I just can't help it.
EDS.
The guy just
He
pops
thinks
it.
about Embiid
when you say
24/7.
When you say NBA, I think of Embiid.
You hate that man. I mean, I could care less about him. I think he's a tool, but I don't think about him unless you bring him up.
And people in
which is every
Philly
day.
are finally sick of him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it
this
took-
has been
took
going
long
on for a
enough time.
while.
Long
Yeah.
enough, yeah, right? Jesus.
Bob chimes in. They're saving what is left in the tank for postseason, unlike Cleveland and OKC, who are young and learning how to become champs. Yep.
Yeah.
But Cleveland is like we were last year. But I'm not. I shouldn't say that I'm not worried about them in the playoffs because any team like that can gel together and really give you a series. But
And we don't know if we're going to have Porzingus for that series.
Right.
If we have Porzingus, I'd feel a heck of a lot better about that series.
yes, if we knew that he would be healthy all playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So 'cause you need that height anyways with Allen and Mobley over there.
And I also feel like the players are way more confident on the court when he's there because he's so relaxed and he's so smooth. Oh, I love that guy. He's got to be my favorite player.
100%.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things pan out the rest of this month. Not too long. The season's over.
And they're locked into that 2 seed, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. So I know the past couple weeks we've been kind of enamored with the Lakers and how they've been playing. But man, LeBron gets hurt and that team cools right off.
Well, the team's not very good.
Right. But
It's not very good. But
they were on quite the streak.
yeah. What were they 9-1
Yeah.
after they got Luka?
Yep. And then he got hurt against the Celtics and they dropped 4 straight.
Yeah, he
They-
flopped and pulled the groin.
Yeah. Right. That's what happened.
Yeah, he flopped and pulled the groin.
I was hoping you guys talked about that last week.
yeah.
That was an all-time flop.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And it's like karma. For all these flops, now you really got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's the funny thing about it is I don't know if he really got hurt because
They showed him cheering on the sidelines at one of the games.
but he had complained to the NBA about this stretch of schedule for the Lakers.
Oh, so it was
Yeah, because it was
Planned
so many
injury.
games in a short period, and then the quality of teams. They're all good teams that they've been playing.
yeah. So this might actually be a smart move, so he can rest up for the playoffs.
This is
right?
exactly what he did.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying that he might have tweaked it a little bit, and if he was a younger player or a little bit more things were on the line, he'd be playing. But he didn't want to play this.
Yeah, and he's been down that road. He's like, I don't care if we're the 3, 4, 5. Like,
Let these kids go.
Yeah,
and they're doing pretty well. You know who's not doing pretty well? The Mavs.
and
Did you hear what's going on?
well, Kyrie's obviously out for the year with a torn ACL.
Their whole team's out.
Anthony Davis is playing in the G League. Did I hear that?
Yeah, to try to get back.
Yeah. Well, this is what you get.
They're moving out of Dallas.
So this team, right? They're having trouble dressing 8 men at a time right
That's
now.
what you get.
They may come to actually having to forfeit games. Because
That would be
Dallas has only
interesting.
suited up 8 healthy players as of late. I'm not going to read all the players. But the problem is they have a lot of two-way guys. And those two-way player limitations are
You can't
running
play,
out.
Yeah. You can't play all the games on
And
the
they
NBA team.
cannot sign another contract until April 10th. So these contracts are going to run out.
Yeah.
And if they can't get these guys back on the court, and this is why they're having, I almost called him Dwight Howard. This is why they're having Anthony Davis in the G League right now, because they're trying to rush him back, and they want to get the rust a little bit off, and they need to get these guys back because
that's a smart move.
Yeah.
With someone that's constantly
Always
hurt,
injured.
let's rush him back for a season that means nothing when we have the number 10 seed.
he's the only one. There's
That-
another guy here. There's 2 of them, but Anthony Davis, they're the only guys that are close. And they're looking at this now, and they're not. It's going to. The way this is going to fold, if they can't get those 2 guys back out,
I'm so happy
the
about
league's
this.
already said they're going to have to forfeit a game or
Good.
2. Maybe.
I'm so happy about this.
Never seen it.
Well, this is what you get for trading a franchise player in his prime for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
This is what you get. This is what should happen to teams when they do this.
The
kind
only
of crap.
reason you had was just because you didn't want to pay him that max deal.
Yeah, that was it. That was it, because he loved it there. The fans loved it there.
Yeah.
And you trade for an aging center that gets hurt every other week. Mm-hmm. Makes no sense whatsoever.
He's not nicknamed street clothes for no
nothing.
reason.
Yeah. And Luka took a team that was a number 5 seed, took him to the finals last year. So just get in the playoffs, and if he gets hot...
I hate that because he couldn't do anything until Kyrie got there.
Right, but...
He didn't take anybody.
Right.
He's never taken a team on his back, Tony.
But we thought when that trade was made, Kyrie was still there. So why not let Luka run it back with Kyrie?
Because
you think running it with Anthony Davis and Kyrie is better?
Okay, I like Luka Doncic. Always have. I like his play. I like everything about the guy. I like that he's a fat, doughy guy out there playing basketball. It gives hope to a lot of fat, doughy men. But Luka Doncic is not a championship caliber winner.
So what does trading for Anthony Davis do for your franchise?
Exactly. He already said it.
Nothing.
They don't want to pay him. That's why they had to get rid of him. And they had to move quickly, and they had to go. I'm not...
Well, you don't have to move.
Deal. They got rid of him. I get it.
But you know what? Then trade him for Bam Adebayo, someone that is younger, that has legs.
The Heat didn't want to get... The Heat wouldn't have gotten rid of Bam because Luka Doncic has that stigma.
You could have got more than an agent center.
Luka is just like every other player in the NBA nowadays. They need a second guy to get them over the top. Right. When we were younger watching basketball, teams had one star who wanted to carry, wanted to beat everyone.
The only one star was Hakeem Olajuwon. Jordan had Pippen.
But
everybody had
they had a good team around him.
How great was Pippen though? Like he was good,
all-time great.
I don't find him to be like Jordan. Jordan didn't want to team up with LeBron to win a championship.
No, but
Jordan wanted to beat LeBron.
Right, but Pippen was as good as Jalen Brown. If not
they also drafted him.
100%.
Right. But he's still an all-time great. So Jordan did have Pippen.
Where are we going with this?
I'm just saying
it's gonna lead back to Embiid. Well, Embiid and Paul George.
No, this day and age, the NBA, these guys have to team up to try to win championships.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA now is full of stars. In the 90s, it wasn't.
Yeah, but even when the Celtics won, they had the big three.
Yeah.
Magic
but
had
these teams,
Kareem and Worthy.
But they drafted their players.
No, not really. No,
Bird wasn't drafted by the Celtics.
Yeah, but that's back
McHale.
in the 80s.
No,
and
McHale and Parrish were traded.
Okay. Well, you got me there.
Technicality.
Jordan, Pippen weren't drafted by the Bulls.
Those were drafted, but... Yeah, all right, we're all over the place. Tina's pissed.
So the thing with the Lakers and Lukic, where I was trying to go with this, is that is a perfect fit for him because LeBron and him both need a star. LeBron buckles down and plays defense and can be that crutch for Luka when he doesn't play defense. Plus, they have hungry guys on that team with Reeves. I'm just going to stop with Reeves. He is a guy that tries hard every night. They have the guys around him that could... If this team got there with Luka and his defensive liabilities and not being able to stay on the court because he's out of breath, they had the guys around him.
Yeah, but in the NBA, it's easier to get the second star than it is to get the first.
Right.
And you already had one with Luka. You could bring in somebody else in the future with a free agent contract. Now that you have no stars, good luck getting that first one.
Right.
It's tough. No one's going to want to go there. And if you do have a mediocre star, he's going to leave and team up with somebody else. That's how the NBA works. You're right that they all team up together. That's why you got to keep at least one.
Well, Kevin Durant couldn't win shit without help.
And what does he do? He teams up with Steph Curry.
Right.
So that's why you have to have a star.
But then he's offended when you say that.
But
he's offended with anything.
I know.
Every team nowadays, go down the board, every team has a superstar. I'm sorry, every team has a star. So no matter where you go, you're going to be teaming up. Name one team out there that doesn't have a star.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're a top
we're basketball fans, so maybe a little bit one-sided.
But if you're a top 10 player, it's easier to get to draw that second star.
Yeah.
But the Celtics, like last year, they didn't sign a big free agent.
They didn't have the money to.
Right, but they didn't. No one was coming to team up with. They already had.
Because they didn't have the money.
Yeah, but they had Tatum and Brown.
But
they made the deal for Porzingis.
Yeah.
And they brought in Drew Holiday.
Where are you going with this?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the Celtics they weren't like Tatum wasn't recruiting people to come here
No, he was recruiting Lillard. He was. They were all actively recruiting people.
as free agent though.
Yeah, they were trying. Remember, he was
I thought
trying to.
Lillard was traded.
Well,
to-
now they recruit through trades.
Yeah.
They get their player to be disgruntled at home, and then they come over through a trade. They all kind of do the tampering thing. Yeah, they all. It's
was Drew Holiday a guy that Tatum was like, we got to go get this guy?
no,
they
Drew got traded to Portland, which nobody knew was coming.
But the guys all immediately, and this is even in one of the shows, they were all like, "We got to get Holiday.
and
Like, we got to get."
and Brad Stevens, when he was coaching, was begging Danny Ainge to get Holiday. So the second,
Which is Brad Stevens doing,
right?
he wanted the guy and he went and got him.
But it's the nature of the beast. These athletes, they kind of do the recruiting now, in the NBA at least. It's just the way it is. I think it's because they play AAU together at a young age. They all know each other. They're buddy-buddy. I don't know.
Dave, that was some good basketball talk out of you.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Let's see if we can get it with Tony with your NHL segment. I mean,
I'm out. Yeah. I'll see you guys
Your
soon.
turn.
We tried last week.
Yeah. I didn't have much to offer.
Yes, you know what? I'm gonna actually. This warrants your intro music.
All right.
And now the coach's
I mean, this
corner
has
with
been a
David
big couple of weeks for the
Shula.
Bruins. They dumped the core.
And they've lost 3 in a row now. They suck again still.
And the funny thing is like right after the trade deadline, first 2 games, unbelievable effort. They go and win the first 2 games, and you're like, holy shit, this team might make the playoffs now. That would be ridiculous. And then they came back down to earth, and
Real quick, real fast.
yeah, they're playing to their potential, their talent. They did, I thought, and I know you're not excited because it's prospects, but I thought they made out pretty well in their trades, and they did every single one of those guys a favor and traded them to playoff teams. Yep. So that was a huge thing. They're all on playoff teams now. They're all in better places. I mean, Coyle, he can go play in Colorado and be a third line center, and they don't care if he only scores 15 goals for them all year. That's plenty because they have a first line that scores 95% of their goals. The return for him was big. And then for some reason, the Toronto Maple Leafs thought that Brandon Carlo was worth a first-round pick and their top prospect. And I thought that was great because I would have traded Brandon Carlo for a 5th-round pick.
So, Dave, I agree with you. On paper, what Sweeney was able to get for these trades, everything looks great. The problem is the track record with Sweeney and this team.
This organization does not use prospects well. They do not develop prospects well. They do not draft well.
Until these things pan out, I can't be happy and support what has happened.
No.
Because the track record is, this is all going to fall flat on his face. If it was anybody else, Dave?
If they move on from Sweeney and the rest of everything else that's there and start fresh and maybe try to use some of these young kids, you might actually see some of them develop into something.
Yeah.
And the prospect of that alone is, for me, more exciting. I look forward to what they do next season with some of these young kids, and that's if they get rid of.
I'm scared. I'm
scared
is a strong
too.
word, but
if they keep Sweeney, we're just gonna keep going down the same.
I love how Tony just
same
stands
road
over in the corner.
Yeah,
Just waits.
Yeah, doesn't want to get involved.
Don't much.
But I can't even. I put on the game the other night, and I'm just like, this is just.
It's tough to watch.
And Bob chimes in here. When do we get the Capitals games on prime time? Ovi's 6th game. Yeah,
I would think
8 goals away, and that's when I was watching the game the other night. I go, when are they going to break into Ovechkin highlights?
It's probably going to be like with like 5 goals left. They'll be like, all right, we're going to start televising the games. He's still scoring goals, but man, he looks old. He's starting to look really old.
I think you're just trying to have that. I don't think that he
No,
looks old yet.
he
had
does.
A
He
huge
does.
hit the other night.
Yeah, but he's it's harder for him to put the minutes in. He's getting a lot more empty net time, the power play time. It's situations like that, and I don't blame them because he is older, and that's what teams should do with their older guys is limit their ice time. So I get it. I feel like if he breaks that record this year, I don't think you see him next year.
He's already said that he's going to retire, and his plan is if he breaks the record this year. I don't even think he said if. I think he said when he breaks the record this year, he's retiring and then signing with one of those Russian teams. And I think playing over there and just kind of being at home and riding off into the sunset. But what you just said a second ago with the empty netters and being on the ice, I like what he did the other day with who was the guy that was?
He gave him the hat trick.
Ovechkin could have scored again, but he gave it to the other guy,
which just shows you what type of guy Ovechkin is, which is
so he can get his hat trick. And I was like, that is. Yeah,
you gotta root for the guy.
Yeah,
it's just I definitely see he's losing the interest in being out there, and I don't blame him. It's not a young man's game. I mean, it is a young man's game, not an old man's game. I mean, I might be able to hang out there, but
Dave, you have your heart condition that ruins your NHL career.
I missed out on my professional sports career because of my heart condition. It was definitely the heart condition. It was nothing else.
I think it actually has a warning on here about heart
may cause heart conditions.
Don't drink two of these.
Well, yeah, Ovechkin, can't wait. It's going to happen.
I just hope it happens
about it every
soon
week.
So he can take a break before the playoffs and then have a nice little run with the Caps in the playoffs. And
right off into the sunset. Yeah. Stanley Cup.
I don't think they're winning the Cup, but this is a very good team. It's just a lot of young kids that you don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs because you haven't really seen it.
Yeah.
Florida and Marchand.
We'll see.
He's going to get to hold up that cup and then maybe even come back to Boston to show it off when he signs
the other day.
here.
He actually mentioned that he was open to returning.
Of course he is.
Yep. So.
I mean, the kids are here, the wife is here, the life is here. So if he can get a 1 or 2 year deal out of them to finish the career here, why not?
Good to see. So we've lost a lot of our viewers. I figured, you know what? Let's continue to lose our viewers. And let's talk some Red Sox.
All right.
Here we go. I mean,
the real hardcores here will stay on for the Bruins talk. They love your coach's corner, and then Tony's dugout comes up.
Yeah, right. I think it's better than that. Yeah.
And then we lose
Tony's hot stove.
Yeah, something with a T. We got to figure that out. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right, so the Red Sox are probably about 10 days away from opening day.
Devers is getting some at-bats.
Yeah, not doing much with them.
Well, he's batting 111.
That makes sense.
I think if I've missed a game, he's played 2 or 3 games since he's returned. If he's played 2 games...
If he's batting 111, probably 3 games worth of at-bats. That's 1 for 9. 1 for 9.
He's got 1 hit, so...
Yeah, that would be 1 for 9.
So is he still pouty? Is that...
Pudgy?
Part of
very pudgy.
Yeah.
Very pudgy.
Pudgy, we know.
Pudgy and pouty.
Yeah.
The other day, he walked out to the plate and wiped something like powder or something off his face. It looked like he was eating donuts in the dugout.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. But he just looks... So, I didn't see it, but they had the highlights on one of the things that I follow. And man, those pitches went right by him.
Well, these guys are also 2 or 3 weeks into spring training. It's going to take him some time to get his timing
He's
down.
got to get out there.
Yeah, most hitters say they need 25 to 30 at-bats to get their timing down. He's starting behind the pitches, right? Because he's so late.
They got so fat? Is
so
that what
fat,
you said?
yeah. So late into spring. They got, say, 8 games left, so he has plenty of time to get his at-bats in, and hopefully he has his timing down. But if he gets off to a slow start, then people are going to be like, dude, why'd you mess around? We don't know if he was out because of the arm injury or because he was upset that he wasn't playing third base.
I think it was a combination.
Yeah. And if he's out because of arm injury, then whatever. He's out because then I'm not going to knock it as much. If he's out because he's being a brat, then that's where fans are going to be a little pissed. You're making $30 million. Let's not be a brat about not playing third base.
And at this point, all they're asking him to do is hit.
Yeah. which is what he should be doing because he's a terrible fielder.
Yes.
Bob chimes in. He's actually going to a Red Sox game this year. So you're back in as well. We are too.
Yeah.
You're going to see, thank you to one of our viewers out there. I don't know if we could talk about it too much, but you're going to see a probably wrong outing.
Yeah.
Definitely coming up at a Red Sox game. So.
And I feel like the energy is there for the Sox fan. I'm not even a Sox fan, but I feel like the energy is there. Like people are excited to see this team. They have a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in this team making the playoffs this year, as long as everyone stays healthy.
Yeah.
And if you can move Devers and get something in return,
you're not going to move. Who's going to trade for
$30
a
million
$30 million DH?
No, I know.
You're not going to move.
But if he's going to be pouty and
I think
bitchy,
he'll be fine, and I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna rake. I think the whole team's gonna rake.
So hear me out. You want to keep Devers. You don't want to trade him because not only is he fit a DH spot wonderfully because he's a tremendous hitter, he's a little bit of an insurance policy. Is if Bregman gets hurt, I'm not saying he's the best third baseman. But then you can move him right back to third.
You know what? I would move I play Marcel Mayer.
I was going to say you bring a AAA guy.
He's such a liability
there.
defensively, and I think this team is going to hit, and they're going to play great defense because they have defensive players all over the field, and I think people are going to notice the difference. Like, whoa, I never really thought about defense at third until Bregman starts saving doubles down the line, and I think his days as a third base, maybe first. As a third baseman, they're done.
I think his fielding days are done.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Stay at DH.
So every spring, there's a little story of a player that comes out, right? There's a little spark behind somebody.
Like out of the closet?
No, like that has succeeded in preseason, in spring training. And I am loving this Trace Thompson thing. I mean, he is a fresh. I've been a fan of his since because I'm a Dodgers guy now. That he is. I mean, I loved him out there, and just to see him come over here and the way that he's hitting 278. He leads the spring training in home runs.
Yeah.
The other part that I love it is his brother. You know who his brother is, right?
Yeah, Clay Thompson.
And
his father, Michael Thompson.
And Clay Thompson, what city does
he
hate?
hates Boston. Yeah. you know what would help Trace Thompson out? He's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Pretty good right-handed power bat. If he learned how to play first base, too. That way he could... Because a lot of teams are using, like, platoon first baseman. If he could learn how to play first, that might extend his career by... If he stays on with the team, it's as a fifth outfielder, but you know what? You might stay in the league a little bit longer.
The thing about him... So, like I said, I've followed him for a while. One, because of the name. Two, because he was in L.A., this guy has consistently gotten better every year. Yeah. And he's a guy that really wants to succeed. And it shows. I mean, he wasn't doing this 2 or 3 years ago when he came in with LA.
Right.
And they didn't think he'd make it.
Yeah.
And then he went back and he just...
I think the problem with the Red Sox, they already have a right-handed outfielder. He batted .283 last year, 11 homers in 90 games. Rob Refsnyder. They kind of like him. He's pretty good. Refsnyder's pretty good. I don't know if there's going to be room on this roster.
If he doesn't make the team, that's fine. But I want to see him
catch on with somebody else.
Not just that. I want to see him succeed in the fact that now you have another trade piece.
Ooh, Trey Thompson?
If he continues to play the way that he is, he's still very young. If he's
How old?
away,
I don't think he's that young.
How old do you think he is?
I'm going to say about 28, 29.
You think he's that old?
I think he's been around a while. I don't think if he was 23, then we might have something here.
How old do you think he is?
I have no idea because I don't even know. He's related to who?
He's on the downward spiral of his career.
He's 34.
34. Yeah, he's been around a while. I didn't want to overshoot it by saying like 30.
He's got potential.
Yeah, no, it's a good story. And
I thought he was younger than that.
No, he's like a fifth outfielder. It's a good story. Every like. People like him.
I do. I like him.
Yeah, people like him, and he's like...
I just don't follow him enough to know his...
Yeah, he's been around. I think he's been around.
You know the funny part about that bit is 2 months ago, we did the same thing with Clay Thompson.
And he was old, too. And
I thought he was younger.
He's got a few years left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, good story. Off to a good... And you know what? If he doesn't stay with the Red Sox, hopefully he finds a team. and it could be a fourth, fifth outfielder. But if you could learn how to play first base too, now you could be a right-handed bat in the outfield, and you can platoon at first. He's a bench guy. He's a role guy.
Looking good. One thing that bothers me about Major League Baseball is you just had the the start of the season.
Watch both games. I'm exhausted right now.
Great games, right?
Yeah, a lot of fun.
But
Great
why
crowd.
are we doing it now? Why couldn't we do this next week and then roll right into the start of the season?
I think the reason behind that, it's a 15-hour flight to Japan.
Yeah.
And I think it takes players a few days to kind of get back on their time.
But that's fine. So next week, right? You play Sunday, Monday. You fly back. The regular season starts on Thursday. They don't even have to start right away. I just don't like, the season started. Oh, wait, we still have a week left of spring training.
It's weird. You know what I'd like to see? If they did this again, because there are no young baseball fans in the United States.
Right.
It's all old people. And for the most part, your kid loves wrestling. He's going to love basketball. For the most part, most kids are going to like basketball, football, wrestling, lacrosse over baseball. I'd love to. I think this would be pretty cool if you did 2 games in Japan, and then 2 games in the Dominican Republic, and then 2 games to lead into an American opening day. I think that'd be pretty cool. And maybe start with Japan, which is a 15-hour flight, and as you get closer to opening day, start with closer flights so that their time schedule.
I just wish it was closer to.
Me too. Yeah, it's weird, especially for those of us that play fantasy. We have a 10-day break now after 2 games.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see other cultures and how they in Japan they're quiet during the pitch.
Quiet,
and then they're all excited. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed both games.
Yeah. Different respect for the game.
Yeah.
And like you said, the younger kids in this country are not into baseball at all.
No, it's too slow for them.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a dying sport.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, baseball needs to do something about it.
Well, you know what they need to do? You need to market more in Japan, in the Dominican, in Puerto Rico, because it's dying here. It's not dying over there. Blow it up universally.
You need to market. You just need to market.
Yeah, market something. Yeah.
Right. Because, I loved baseball when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I could not get my kids to get into it at all.
No.
But I had, my favorite player is Pedro Martinez. And he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
He was amusing when he pitched, and he was amusing when he had his off days. And, I don't know. People don't get excited about anyone like that
there
anymore.
are still plenty of guys like that.
There
But
are.
the problem is...
Baseball does a terrible job. Ellie De La Cruz, he's just as fun as Pedro, even funner because Pedro was kind of had a little bit of a nasty side to him.
Yeah.
Was argumentative at times, would get into arguments. Ellie De La Cruz is just this happy-go-lucky kid that loves playing baseball. Market this guy, please. And he's learning how to speak English, and it's kind of fun to watch him speak because he knows he's getting better, and he's kind of it's great about him for whatever reason.
So, all right, next week we'll have more of this. I want to finish the show here with 2 lovely little looks into women's sports real quick.
All right.
WNBA. They're going to have a lockout.
Oh, please do. Please do. Because nobody's watching anyways. You know what? And that'll give Caitlin Clark a reason to go play basketball with Ice Cube and make the $5 million a year that she deserves.
What are you doing? And then Angel Reese is your spokesperson, doubling down on this.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's been so vocal about it.
This is going to go well.
I'm like, guys, if you want to destroy a sport so fast,
let her talk about it.
Not just that, lock out.
Lock out. Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
You don't
lock
have
out for what? They don't profit.
They want to get paid like the men.
Paid like the men for the money that they don't.
So the problem is, I shouldn't really say it's a problem. You remember a couple of years ago when the women's soccer team spoke out?
Mm-hmm.
They had
But women's soccer team makes money.
They had a leg to stand on because at the time, nobody was watching the men's.
You
were watching the men because it was the men, but you were tuning in to see that women's soccer team.
Right. They
had a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
They were just a generational talent at that point.
Yeah.
WNBA, you are not.
You lose money.
Caitlin Clark, and you're constantly trying to say that she's not it.
Right, fighting it.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is a reason people watched games last year, and you want to fight that. It wasn't her.
Yeah.
They were watching all of us. No, they weren't.
Why do you think this 3-on-3 tournament they had all year sucked and nobody paid any attention to it?
Why do you think they're moving into bigger stadiums only for Caitlin Clark games?
Right.
It's not because of her. It's because they're watching Angel Reese. Like, make this make sense.
And you're going to ruin it where you this year have this girl, Juju Watkins, who is going to be, when she comes into this league, when we talk about playing like a man, I don't know if you've seen her from USC.
No idea.
Dave's, how did you not have Dave seen her?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to answer that.
But her highlights now are everywhere.
Yeah.
Just because the way she plays.
Is she a point guard?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Aren't they all point guards?
6'1".
Yeah, well, they might be, but the majority of them can't dribble. But can she dribble?
She can dribble.
Good.
She can shoot.
Nice.
I think she's 6'1".
And she creates tempo and creates pace.
Oh, nice. And she plays like her and Paige Bucker is coming out next year. They both play like men. And it would be a travesty if this league locks out when you have Caitlin Clark and these two young girls. And the other thing about these two other girls is
they're cool. They're not bitches.
There you go.
Yeah. Did I say that or did Dave? For the record, Dave said that. Not I. But yeah, these girls are so catty. I mean, you have Michael Jordan in the form of Caitlin Clark, and you're like, nah, she's not that good. She's going to struggle. Well, we didn't see it.
I just can't believe none of them can look in the mirror and be like, wow, our ratings across the board are so far down when Caitlin Clark's not out there.
Yeah. Just look at the data.
The proof is in the pudding.
Facts, like we started the show.
Facts be damned.
And we're full of facts.
On that note,
well, we have the track assault.
Yeah, but we're running out of time.
We'll save that for whenever.
Yeah,
probably never.
It's going to keep going. So that's a nice tease. Hold on, let the outro play here.
All right, check you later.